Hello all, I hope you all feel beautiful today. In this episode, I will tell you all about my life in Hanoi. I will use would and used to and adverbs of time to get you more comfortable with this language. I used to live in Hanoi, in Vietnam. I lived there for 4 happy years. So you'll learn English and experience the world at the same time. Also, today you'll learn lots of new vocabulary. Welcome! The opening song is a cover of Mun Zo Ta Tin by a great band from Hanoi called Shady Lanes. Details of their songs are in the description. There'll be many video clips today of my everyday life in Hanoi. Oh yeah, please like and subscribe and like and hit the bell button to not miss any new episodes, and so YouTube shares this video with more people. Let's quickly look at the grammar first. We use would plus infinitive to talk about past, regular, repeated actions and habits that have stopped happening. For example, every Saturday I would go on a bike ride, or I would always go to McDonald's for breakfast, but I stopped. Yeah, I don't do it anymore. We use used to plus infinitive to also talk about past, regular, repeated actions and habits that have stopped happening, just the same. So you can also say, every Saturday I used to go on a bike ride, or I used to always go to McDonald's for breakfast. But you also use used to talk about past states using state verbs. State verbs such as like, love, be, have. Well, have for possessions and appearance. Live, feel, what you think, what you believe in. So for these state verbs, you use used to. For example, we say, I used to live in New York, not I would live in New York. We say, he used to be an artist, not he would be an artist. No, because be is a state verb. If you are unsure, if you don't know, use used to, because there is more chance it will be correct. Remember, when you say would, it can be shortened to just I'd, he'd, she'd, we'd, or they'd. It's easier that way. On to the story. For most of Vietnam's history, Hanoi has been the capital city. Hanoi used to be called Tan Long, which means rising dragon, which is a very cool name. They also call Hanoi the city of lakes. Why? There are between 50 and 100 lakes and ponds throughout the city. I used to live next to the biggest lake, which is called West Lake, or Tay Ho in Vietnamese. At different times in Vietnam's history, it was invaded by the Chinese and also the French more recently. The French took control of Vietnam for about 100 years, ending in 1954. You can still see the French and Chinese influence today in the buildings, in the food, in people's clothes. Older men in Hanoi are often well dressed in suits and occasionally wear beret hats, which are stereotypically French. And in Vietnam, the most popular snack is a banh mi, which is a sandwich made with a baguette. Baguettes are the long French breads, the style of bread. And these banh mi's are often served with pâté too. Pâté is also French, of course. Nowadays, it's a busy city of about 8 million people. As well as the lakes, Hanoi is characterized by the architecture, the coffee culture, so they love coffee, they love cafes there, and the amazing street food you can find everywhere. The Vietnamese have developed their own style of architecture. Architecture is the art of designing buildings. In Vietnamese architecture, they mix old, ancient, and oriental and French styles. The architecture in Hanoi is unique, as you can see, and they have a very passionate coffee culture there. Locals love just sitting at a cafe, chatting with friends. I'll miss all the cute little cafes dotted around all the many lakes. There are many young native English speakers who live there, such as myself. Many of them are English teachers. Most mornings I would start the day by either jogging around the botanical gardens or cycling around the biggest lake on my bicycle. To jog is to slowly run a long distance as exercise. I would jog around the botanical gardens, which is a park with many different kinds of trees and plants from around the world. The park is full of life in the early morning. There'd another one for you. There'd be people doing aerobics, salsa dancing, playing badminton, which they love, doing meditation or yoga. What they especially love, actually, is playing badminton with their feet. It's called a da ko, and you see it all over the country. They say it is the national sport of Vietnam, a kind of foot badminton. The mornings are a very busy time in the streets and parks of Hanoi. Actually, all of Vietnam is like that. The people are alive, active, and socialized a lot from like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. before they go to work for the day. Another popular morning activity for the locals is to cycle around the biggest lake, which takes about 45 minutes. Again, that's Tay Ho, like Westlake, the one that I used to live next to. After my exercise, I would eat breakfast. I used to go to this place which serves a beef or chicken noodle soup with vegetables. The most popular Vietnamese food is various noodle soups, such as pho. So pho, you even get pho restaurants in Canada, America, Australia, with different kinds of meats and vegetables inside. And you add some lemon juice and a bit of garlic and chili. Delicious. The broth meaning the hot flavored liquid of the soup. The broth is made of bones, the bones of the animal. Bone broth is of course very healthy and nutritious, so it's a nice way to start the day. Oh yeah, leave a comment. Tell us if you've lived anywhere outside of your lovely hometown before. How was it? And say hello if you're from Vietnam. After you've watched this episode, please listen to the podcast version to maximize your learning. The Simple English Listening podcast is on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and the link is in the description. This way you absorb, you take in more language. Ideally means what would be perfect. Ideally, try to watch or listen to this episode at least 3 or 4 times, ideally, or as many times as you can. So many times that you get so annoyed at my voice that you want to punch me in the face because you've heard my voice too much and it's made you go mad. Okay, after breakfast, I would drive to work and experience one of the most famous things about Hanoi, the traffic. Before living there, I was terrified, very scared of the idea of having to drive a scooter to work. And I had a reason to be. In Vietnam, motorbikes and scooters are the most popular transport method, and there are hundreds of thousands of them on the Hanoi roads at rush hour. Rush hour is the time when everyone goes to and from work, when the roads are most busy, rush hour. So there I would be at rush hour, driving very slowly in all the traffic in 38, 40 Celsius heat, with the pollution mask tightly on, sweating with what feels like a fireball of fumes in my face. half the time driving on the sidewalk. Yeah, seriously, the roads were so full, I would have to drive on the sidewalk. It's completely normal there to just drive on the sidewalk for many people, and sometimes just on the wrong side of the road. Anyway, finally, after about 20 minutes of being in fight or flight mode, battling to survive, I'd get to work. Hands shaking, heart racing. I used to work in a big school of over 2,500 students. They were all Korean. From Korea, South Korea. There's a big Korean community in Hanoi. There's lots of Korean business and industry there. So these people's children have to go to school somewhere, right? With moi. I used to be their teacher, and I used to work at a Korean school there. So here's some video clip. Welcome to my office. These were my lovely workmates, whom I miss dearly. Hello guys, if anyone's watching. I love those guys. Look at them, working hard. And this is the desk I used to sit at. I must say, there was a nice sense of community at the Korean school. And there were many events for the students, such as sports day. Students would march out onto the sports field, all wearing funny and ridiculous team costumes. And they would do sports such as tug of war. Tug of war is the game where one team has to pull the other team across a line with a rope. Actually, it used to be an Olympic sport, did you know? Also, my students, they would have school festivals where the kids would sing, dance, and do performances, usually nearly always to K-pop music. K-pop is Korean pop music. K-pop is like a religion for many kids there, it seems. And it's also the fashion. Every boy in my grade 10, 11 and 12, and I mean like everyone, bar none, had the exact same haircut, like the BTS Harry Potter bob. I had 4 happy years there at a school and in Hanoi. There was something new every day. After school, I'd once again go into battle, fighting to survive through the traffic. Once I was home, I'd jump in the shower because I'd be covered in sweat. In fact, one would need to rinse oneself in the shower many times per day in the summer and drink lots of water. Outside of winter, where you sometimes need a jacket and a scarf, outside of winter, Hanoi is boiling. So hot, humid, and there's hardly any wind, so the air stays still. It is hot enough to need an air conditioner 8 months per year. I used to put on the aircon, jump in the shower, and then get out the shower and walk around still wet in the cold, icy air blast to try to lower my body temperature as much as possible. I'd then chill for a bit. Chill means to just relax for a little while. After chilling for a bit, I'd sometimes go out. I used to sometimes go out to the Old Quarter, which is the historic center of Hanoi. I'd walk around the famous Hoan Kiem Lake and sometimes go to this amazing tea shop. Here would be a lovely place to write scripts and do research for this show and do work. They made tea in a very traditional and beautiful way. I got to know the staff a little bit, and one of them was happy to do the tea making process for this video. As you can see, there is a set order, a set sequence in which they have to do every movement for a set amount of time, and every movement has a purpose.
To cool it down.
For example, after they boil the water, they leave it out to sit for a little bit so it cools down to exactly 85 degrees. Then, when they mix the water with the tea, it should be for exactly 5 seconds. Also, a funny one is that every time they pour the tea, they must do it silently.
5 seconds.
As silently as possible, so the customers don't confuse the sound of pouring tea with urine, with going for a pee-pee. Yeah, that made me laugh when I first heard that.
Then we pour it
So that's
quietly in
uniquely Vietnamese etiquette.
without making a
Etiquette,
sound.
meaning tradition.
Yeah.
Etiquette.
Now I will enjoy this lovely tea. Bottoms up. Very good.
In my opinion, one great thing about Hanoi is the music scene. Among the expats means foreigners who have immigrated to Vietnam to make a new life. Among the expats and also the Vietnamese, the locals, there are some awesome music venues and bands in Hanoi. My favorite venue is Hanoi Rock City. I used to go there pretty much every weekend to see bands, and also I'd play there sometimes in my own band. Yeah, the music and art scene in Hanoi is, in my opinion, is the best in Vietnam. In my opinion. With lots of different styles of music, rock, jazz, metal, punk, hip-hop, everything, and lots of traditional Vietnamese music too. If you ever visit and you like music, don't forget to check out Hanoi Rock City on a Friday or Saturday night. Here's a bit more of that great band Shady Lanes for you. In a future episode, I'll tell you all about my day-to-day life in my new city of Da Nang. From now on, I'll be releasing a YouTube video and a podcast every 2 weeks. Please like and subscribe to help the channel grow and so more people can learn from these videos. That is my reward. Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Lots of love. See you guys next time.